you're watching on YouTube and you would like to have an NPC in the game, all you have to do is jump on the stream and follow, and yeah, hit me up in chat and let me know how you want your NPC to be in the game. I'll be doing this every Tuesday, 7:30, 8 o'clock, Brisbane, Australia time. Hey guys, it's me, Bill, from Alec Games, and yeah, welcome to the stream. Let me... Coco, good to see you, my friend. Welcome to a new stream series that I'm starting. We're going to be making an RPG, and not just any RPG, but a very simple, mostly simple RPG. We're going to be using the game engine that I work in, which is RPGMaker MV. Cow Night 2. Bro, we haven't even done Cow Night 1. What are you talking about? Maybe what I'll do is maybe I'll play a little bit of Cow Night, because I did say I wanted to show it to you. Just because I want to show it to someone, I need some validation. You know, just to show a little sneak peek as to what RPG Maker is capable of, even though it's not the most impressive. I'm glad you're excited, Coco. I'm excited too. I've been thinking about it all day. And yeah, so we're going to be making a very simple, mostly simple RPG in RPG Maker MV. This is going to act as like a tutorial of sorts, but it's, you know, going to be a bit long-winded. I don't know that I'm going to edit the videos down very much. Maybe in the future I'll go back and I'll edit everything down to be much more concise. But for now, we're going to do these streams every Tuesday, and we're going to, you know, I don't have everything planned out. I have a bit of a plan. So it's going to be a bit, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Maybe, you know, as I go on, I'll be like, maybe I should plan this a bit better. But, you know, we're going to be learning things as we go. We're going to, make this simple RPG. And anyone that comes along to the stream and follows can have an NPC in the game. So that's a little incentive for me to get more followers on Twitch, so I can become an affiliate, even though I don't need, I've got the followers that I need. And bless you. Thank you, everyone that's followed. I actually just need more concurrent viewers, actually, is what I need to get. It's the only thing that is unticked to get affiliate. But anyway, yeah, it's going to be a simple RPG. You know, so it's hopefully not going to take us too long to make it, because obviously, typically RPGs are very long affairs. Also, the other restriction that I'm having, that I will bend a little bit, is we're working exclusively in RPG Maker. So we're not going to, even though plugins are incredible and do so much to elevate your games, we're going to try and not use any plugins. We're going to try and do everything in engine. And because that'll make it easier for me too. So there's no scope creep. And, you know, we'll try to problem solve using what's available to us. And yeah, and we're going to use basic RTP. You know what I'm saying? Coco knows what I'm saying. And all that stuff. I am going to make custom music because I want more practice in doing that, and we can show off Beatbox runtime package. Yeah, the default assets that come with RPG Maker. But yeah, those are the parameters that I've set for myself. They will change over time, I am sure. Let's get into it. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at my plan. So, excuse me, I'm still a bit sick, so I might sniff a lot. I apologize. Original music, awesome. I mean, let's not get ahead of ourselves. It might be very bad. It might be very bad, but hopefully not. I have some musical talent, but I have not spent enough time on it in my life to say that I'm like super good or anything. I think I can do enough, yeah, to make something that sounds nice, but FL? No, I actually use I probably should. Is FL free? I use this program called Beatbox. It's free. It runs in your browser. It can run in your browser. You can get an offline version of it, but and yeah, you can make music. And make chiptune. I have had this tab open for a very long time. I don't actually even remember making this track, and it's not very good. So we're gonna ignore that. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna try and use to make music. It's free and I like it. I understand it. Maybe I'll chiptune, right? It's so cool. And it does like synth stuff as well. And it is kind of basic. And I think there are other versions of Beatbox that people, because it's open source, I think, are going to do mostly chiptune for my current game. Yeah, well, but I guess you're going to use FL then to do that. Yeah, like Beatbox is pretty good. I think it's a bit limited in what, it doesn't have as much flexibility as like probably FL would, but yeah. Beep with a P. That's right. Why? What does it sound like I'm saying? Beatbox? Beatbox. It does beatbox. Beep box. I got that pop filter on. You're an FL fiend. Cool, man. Did you? I'm trying to remember. Did you make the music for Shredded? So this is a little this is a little layout of what I envision for this simple RPG. All shredded music is me. That's beautiful, man. Multi-talented, incredible. It's us fellows, We're jack of all trades. Show us what you got. Yeah. So the first thing, I'll just go through this document. So we're gonna have, the main character, who you play as, who you choose. Really, this is kind of going to be like Final Fantasy 1, where you choose your 4 adventurers and you pick their classes and you go out into the world. So we've got, and again, this is subject to change. I just jotted this down very quickly. We've got the knight. They're just like mainly an all-rounder. They will have elemental skills, like fire sword or lightning axe, or but they're going to be weaker than like what the mage can do, because obviously we want the mage to be powerful, and they'll have pretty decent defense and damage. So they're just going to be an all-rounder. They're just what you pick if you're just like, I don't know what to do, I don't know what class to pick. You can also be at work with a bad signal. Unfortunately, can't watch. Have a good. Oh, sorry, trailer. Sad to hear it, but thank you for coming anyway. I appreciate your attendance. Maybe we'll catch you another time. And also we'll have to get your NPC in the game. So the mage, elemental dominance. They're not really going to have, physical attacks going to be worthless. But the elemental spells that they use are just going to be so powerful. It's going to be the most powerful thing that, no, that's a really bad, that was a Trump impression. Never mind. Let's move on. So they're really weak. They're going to have the lowest HP, glass cannons, basically. But you'll want to have a mage on your team. And, if you want to be a mage yourself, then that's cool. The rogue is going to focus mostly on inflicting status effects, they are also going to be the highest damage. But to balance that, they will have low HP. And then the cleric, I wanted a cleric instead of just like a white mage or something. I want to be a talking rock. Kiwi, not the wiki. Welcome. You want to be a talking rock? We can facilitate that. We can certainly make. I need to start a document. No, what do I want? I need to go back to Drive. Where's my Google Drive? Let's put it over here. So I can keep track of peeps. That just says, I bring wisdom into thy world. With the umlauts, can we do, is umlauts possible? Also, this, all right, so Kiwi, not the wiki. And you want to be a talking rock. And you want to say hi with umlauts, because I don't know. Do you know is it Control or Alt? And then you press the keypad, the numbers, and it makes the I with umlauts. Do you know, Kiwi, what that is? So I can type the I with the umlauts. I bring wisdom. That was a mistake. Oh, you didn't mean to do the umlauts. Okay. Just use the normal I. That's kind of funny though. I feel like we should almost make it an I with umlauts, because it's just like, why? Why is he a kind of German rock? How do you even pronounce? Because umlauts, what do? They extend the vowel, or like you. Ah, okay. You tried to do that. I bring wisdom into the world, into thy world, right? I bring wisdom into thy world. Yeah. Okay. Cool. You're on there. Turned to umlauts for some damn reason. Yeah. Interesting. Twitch chat. Learning how to do German. So this is NPCs. Talking rock. All right. Cool. So and then I need to decide when I'm going to actually, I don't know if I should just make a list and then add everyone in the end, or just add people as you're in. I made a game too, if you could play it later. You're making it more elaborate than me. I probably won't play it on this stream, but is it like a game that you've got on itch.io? Because on Mondays I do a stream where I play indie games from itch.io. But anyway, it is downloadable in Australia, made on RPG MV. Cool. Yeah, hit me up with a link and I'll pop you on the wait list. So what's our wait list looking like at the moment? Well, I just did those 4. So probably in like 3 or 4 weeks time, I'd be able to play a game on stream. But yeah, drop a link. So then you've got the 3 side characters, and you can choose what their class will be as well. And then you'll be thrust into the game world. So again, to shrink things and make it as simple, well, not as simple as possible, but to make it a more simple game and not a long game, we're going to make the max level of characters level 10. Why did that change? Anyway, max level 10. How do I man, I need to move this. I can't see. Toggle borders. Okay. What are we doing? Fit. Where did that zoom out? That was so random. Where should I? Maybe I'll put chat down here. Put chat down here for a little bit. We'll make you bigger. Look at this. On the fly. Okay. When you do play it, please contact me so I know to actually be online at the moment, since I won't know exactly when you stream in a few weeks. Oh, also, Kiwi, I don't know if it happened. Are you following me? Because that is just the one prerequisite that I need to actually put you in the game. Is if you follow me. Oh, cool. Thank you. See, and I actually got my I finally figured out how to set up my alerts. I have not had alerts the whole time I've been streaming. Absolute noob. But I finally figured it out. And so, yeah. And obviously one day I'll have cool custom following stuff. Thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate it. We will drop you in the game. When you do play, please contact me so I know to actually be online at the moment, since I won't know exactly when you stream in a few weeks. Yeah, I will. I'll send you a whisper on Twitch, and we can. I'll figure out how to reach you, and I'll let you know like the spiel that I send to people when I'm gonna play their game. Okay. Oh, you're back. Welcome back, Coco. I didn't know you were gone, but I did miss you. Yeah, so we're making the max level 10. So again, to simplify things, I'm going to come up with a stat chart actually, so that I can figure out the best way to map out the stats across those 10 levels for each class. With each level, a new skill will unlock. So so that means each class will have 10 skills. And again, trying to make it simple, not too much that we have to work on. Except the mage. The mage will have 3 new spells every 1st, 3rd, 6th, and 10th level. Yeah, because I was like, maybe they get a 1 spell every level, but then I wanted them to have 1 spell from each element every so often. So yeah, anyway. And so there's only going to be 4 elements. Again, we'll get into how to set up elements in RPGMaker, stuff like that. It's just going to be physical, fire, water, earth. Water beat fire, fire beat earth, earth beat water. I don't want to call it grass, Pokemon, but like, anyway, earth. But anyway, we're not going to think too hard about it. That's the circle of elemental rock, paper, scissors that I've got set up. Stat effects. At the moment, I've only picked 4. We're just going to have sleep, stun, poison, and silence. And again, that's what the rogue is going to focus on inflicting on enemies. And enemies will be able to do that to us. We're going to have, in the story, there are 3 elemental temples and then 1 floating temple, because RPGMaker always includes a floating castle tile set thing. So I was like, yep, let's make that the final boss. And then also so we can include like getting an airship vehicle, but you're gonna get the airship and you're literally gonna drive to 1 location and that's it. But anyway, just so we can implement that in the game and see that. This is so exciting, inspires me to make more short projects too, right? It's like, that's what's helped me make it. And you're part of this inspiring me, Coco, because you always make me, you've only made me do 2, but was it 2? Is it 2 game jams you made me do? But anyway, you've pushed me to do game jams and stuff, and that makes me realize the power of doing shorter projects that can be accomplished. You got a whole plan too. Yeah, and that's that's part of the fun of making these games is planning them out. And you definitely have to do it with RPGs. You can't just sort of do it off the dome. I mean, if you do, good for you. But I think if you want the game to feel cohesive, you need to sort of think of everything. We push each other. Indeed we do. Indeed we do. so we're going to have 5 enemy types for each area. So yeah, so each of the elemental temples, you know, there's going to be a world map. I should write that down. World map. Because it's not a JRPG unless there's a world map. 3 or 4 biomes. 4 biomes, which are the main village hub thing. Fire, land, volcano, the beach, water, and a forest, I guess. Earth. Into the earth. Yeah. So there'll be 5 enemy types for each area. They'll obviously have elemental typing, depending where they are. And in each temple, there will be a mini boss and a main boss. Yeah. So, and again, trying to keep the scope smallish, but still, that's going to end up what 24, 28 enemies in the game. That's pretty crazy. You know, and that's actually a lot of work when you want to figure out all their stats and their moves. Anyway, followers can have a main NPC in the hub town. So we've talked about that so far. We have got a talking rock. I'm excited to implement them. We also listed down what plugins you'll be using. Yeah, so you missed that. I thought I mentioned that. Maybe you missed it, Coco. I'm not going to use plugins. I know. Maybe I don't know, because I just want to just focus on like what can RPGMaker do without any of that stuff. Even though I think plugins, yeah, are actually a very big and important part of the RPGMaker community and making your game more interesting and good. Maybe we'll create everything, get to the end, and be like, okay, what plugins can we use to enhance what we've got? And look at it that way. Maybe do a little section about it. Plugins if you must, but no plugins will be a fun challenge. Is there a lot of default plugins? Isn't there only like 3 or something? Or have I never... I don't know. I don't think I've looked that hard at what... Except for like, you know, making a custom intro and stuff, isn't it? Oh, MZ. Well, I'm working in MV. I'm working in MV. Because I'm... Basic Resources is the name of the folder. Yeah, I'm working in MV because that's what I got. Yeah. Yep. I kind of want to get MZ, especially because there's one developer out there who's created an action RPG plugin, and I think that would just be really cool to make an action RPG. That would be sick. So yeah, so there's only one hub town. Again, keeping it simple. All weapons and armor are going to be accessible from the beginning, so you'll be able to see every armor there is. Well, I think I'm going to change that, actually. I'm going to make it so that depending on what level you are will depend on what equipment is shown. Saying Hendrix, yeah, you've seen it, right? That's crazy stuff. Yeah, it really... like I started making it, I was like, please be for MV, and then it was for MZ, and I was like, well, that's fair. So yeah, okay, so let's change that then. All weapons and armor unlock according to level. And then this is, so we're only going to have body and head armor. Again, you can make legs, you can make arms, you can actually make any armor type you want. You could make, you know, ring finger ring, middle finger ring, you know, you can do whatever you want. But we're keeping it simple. So there's just going to be body armor and head armor, and those will unlock alternating levels. And weapons will just unlock every couple of levels. So you can tackle the temples in any order. So that's going to be an interesting eventing thing that we can look at and do to show, so that when we beat a one temple, it doesn't matter which one, it will increase the level of the enemies at other temples. So it's kind of level scaling. Yeah, it is. It's level scaling. And beating each temple unlocks higher level enemies. Yeah, and then that's how that's mapped out there. After you beat the 3 temples, you'll unlock the airship and you'll gain access to the Sky Temple. So that's kind of the gist. Story-wise, nothing crazy yet. Super cool that you're making it non-linear. Yeah, thanks. I think, again, I just thought, again, I'm trying to make it very simple, but at the same time too, we're trying to make not completely straightforward. I want to play around with it a little bit. And in doing that, we can look more at what's possible with eventing. And I guess I gotta make sure too, with the lingo that I'm using, that I explain what that means. But we'll explain it more as we go in and actually use the use the program. So that's kind of all I've got down for now. That's the gist of what we want to accomplish with this game. And excuse me. And I think we're gonna have a fun time doing it. And then at the end, I'm gonna make the game. I'm gonna put it on itch and charge $100 for it because that's what it's worth. That's what it's gonna be worth. And everyone's gonna buy it, and I'm gonna be rich. And everyone that watched and followed that has their own NPCs will feel famous because they're in the game, and we'll all live happily ever after. So let's actually get into it and boot up the thing. So RPGMaker MV is $104. Get it when it's on sale. It can go on sale for absolutely dirt cheap. This is an older version of the RPGMaker engine. The latest version is RPGMaker MZ. I guess Coco uses it, so he can speak to its awesomeness. Obviously, there will be things about it that are better than MV, but and this is what you'll find with the RPGMaker community, is that people work in the engine that they like, and they stick to it, and that's what they love, and that's what they do. And they do amazing things with whatever, because there's multiple other versions of RPGMaker that precede MV, and depending on who you are, different devs use different versions of the engine. And nobody paying full price for these? Yeah, not ever. I'm pretty sure I didn't. I hope I bought it on sale. I don't actually remember. I may have just been like, but I really want RPGMaker. MZ is the best, but if you have MV, no need to upgrade. Yeah, and I think MZ's been out long enough now that there's probably equivalent or better plugins. I think the argument for a while to still use MV over MZ was just the community that has been built around MV and all the plugins and stuff that have been made. So when I say plugins, those are, is it JavaScript? They're like mods that people have created that allow you to do different things within the RPGMaker engine. So like, you know, if you want to display health bars on the screen, or you want cutscenes to play in a certain way, like there's, or if you want dynamic lighting for your game, there's all kinds of crazy things and plugins that have been made over the years that allow you to do quite a lot with MV. And a lot of the time those plugins are free, which is really cool. There's more free plugins, yeah, but there's better plugins for MZ, mostly paid. Yeah. So yeah, so either or, you know, but definitely get it when it's on sale. Do not pay full price for this software. But yeah, you can get it on Steam. I think you can get it from their website as well, but yeah, just get it on Steam. But yeah, let's boot it up. Also, Coco, before I thought to do this, like the day before, I was like, oh, I have an idea for a game, and it's this. I mean, ignore this. This is all placeholder, but it's going to be called Lost, and it's going to be like a survival game. Like you just wake up in a desert, and it's not. I'm not going to make a procedure generated thing, but like stuff is randomized, and you just have to try and survive and escape the desert that you're trapped in. And yeah, again, I was like, I just want it to be a short, easy game to make. And then I kept thinking about, oh, short, easy games to make. Oh, what if I do a stream? Anyway, so let's start with creating a new project. We're going to go File, New Project. And I actually haven't thought of a good name for this yet. I kind of want a good title. But right now it's just a simple RPG. So every time you create a new project, it generates all the default copies of all the default assets. And yeah, creates a folder for all of them to live in. And there's Harold, our boy. Harold is the main default character that yeah, comes standard with every new project that you make, and because of that he's famous and the coolest, and there's game jams dedicated to him, all this kind of stuff. But that's Harold, and then the lesser known other three placeholder companions, Therese, Marshall, Lucius. Anyway, so I guess this is, yeah, I don't know how in-depth I'm going to be with the tutorial. I think if we have viewers that are like asking questions, that maybe I'll focus on stuff like that. But for the most part, so this is generated our first map. Yeah, our first map 001. It's set default to be like an overworld, and this is just like a grass area, and this event here, because this is an event, is the starting position of your player in the game. So it's all grid based because it's, you know, a 2D JRPG game maker. We've got two buttons over here. This one on the left is for drawing maps. So we can make our grass green. We can put in, oops, we can put in, where's grassy water? What is it? We can put in some water. We can chuck in some mountains. And yeah, so that's painting mode, tile mode. What would you call it? I don't know, Coco. Map editing. Yeah, map editing mode. And then this over here with kind of the little pawn on it is the event editing mode. And that's how we create events. So for things like a treasure chest that has 100 gold, 1,000 gold in it. And then we can put that chest where we want. We'll sneak it in here. Then we can have another event. These are just quick event creations. A transfer. So let's say we put, and so yeah, so you've got tile sets over here as well. Teach them how to right click to color pick, tile pick. Right click, color pick. Oh, in this. Wait, what do you mean? Coco, this is gonna be so funny, right? You are probably gonna teach me things about RPG Maker that I don't even know myself, because that's the thing. I've made games and released games with RPG Maker, but it doesn't mean I know everything about it. Does not mean I'm an expert at all. But yeah, so for ease, when you're, yeah, I did know that. But I think my mind's blanking a little bit because I'm nervous because I'm on the stage. So when you right click, you can copy whatever tiles you're right clicking on, and you can place them down for ease of access. Yeah, so you can do just one tile, get that tile, so you don't have to constantly come over here and grab what you want. You can just grab what's on there. Cool. Wow. Your enthusiasm, Coco. I appreciate it. So gosh, see, let's go down. Okay. So yeah, so we can paint things, we can create things. We can have lava over here. And down here, ABC, you've got different tile sets to do different things. So this is what I mean. This is, you've got your floating castle fortress thing here. Yeah, so you can chuck that in. So we'll have that as our final area. Yeah, and so you can put, well, that's big. You can put an entrance to a cave there, and then we can do a transfer event and say, oh, we don't have another map. Anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves. This is where it might fall apart, where I'm like, I need structure. But I think we're just gonna, we're gonna figure it out. Anyway. Yeah, so you can paint things and make your map that way, and then you can add events. So you can do quick events, or you can double click on a square and create a custom event. And even the events that you've already made, you can double click on them and then it will open them up and you can see how the event has been created. So, and then we can say like treasure 01 something. And like I can change the amount of gold, don't double click, press spacebar. You know, to 1500. And then I gotta change this text to say that 1500 gold was found. And this, oh man, this it's actually so much I'm just realizing there's actually so much to cover with learning how to do stuff. So I think, yeah, this is gonna, this may not be like a very strict tutorial type of stream, but we're gonna learn stuff as we go. And for more in-depth knowledge about how to use the RPGMaker engine, there's lots of other tutorials that are out there that can help you. But yeah, this will just be an exercise that you can learn as we go along, and people that follow and join in can have an NPC in the game. So, what should we do first? Should we create our world map? I think that might be a good start. Our world map. So, we talked about here. So we're going to have a world map. There's going to be 4 biomes. There's going to be the main village hub, fireland, beach, forest, and then I guess over the water, a floating temple. So it's kind of more than 4 biomes, but that's okay. So to edit our map, because we want, so this default screen that we've created here, this is what the whole screen, this fills a whole screen of your game if you run it at the default resolution, the default screen size. And let's have a look. So we've painted our little map, and then we can hit this button over here to play test our game. Now, brace yourselves, people. The default theme of the game is going to play, and it's going to probably be loud. I could fix it, but I think we all need to experience this. Save changes to game, yes. It's coming. Yeah, boy. A simple RPG. Look at that. We've got a menu. New game. And look at that. We got lava. We got mountains. We got a door. We got a chest. 1500 Gs. Let's increase that. 1500 Gs were found. So yeah, so you can see how I think making original music is non-negotiable. That many music is so annoying. Yeah, seriously, it's the worst. It's the worst. Yeah, it's like the first thing I do whenever I start a new project is I just delete that. So annoying. And look, we've got a menu. So see, like, this is what is already built for you before you even do anything with your game. It'll have all of this in place. Like, he's got skills. Therese doesn't have skills, but they've got stats, they've got equipment. So this is what's exciting about RPGMaker is, yeah, there's so much that's already sort of built for you, and you just need to mold it to what you want. And what we want is a simple RPG. I think we all forget how amazing it is just to make something playable this fast. Super awesome engine. Yeah, right? It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, you just got to tweak a few things and you can make something that's relatively unique. And that's what I've always been amazed by, especially, and that's why game jams are so good, because they push you to think of ideas. Like, the games that I've made from the game jam games, I never ever would have thought of those ideas were it not for the theme and the time limit. And just, you know, realizing, hey, I could probably make this within our RPG Maker. And then executing that and seeing it come to life. It's very cool. It's very cool. So yeah, so you can see why this engine is pretty popular, because it's but also why it cops a lot of flack. Um, you know, some may not consider those that work in RPG Maker, you know, a true game dev. Although I don't think I've ever really encountered anyone that said that, um, but that is part of its appeal, is that you don't need to have extensive programming knowledge. It can help you. It can allow you to do extra things within the engine, but it does a lot to just simplify things and make it accessible, which is what I love. Yeah, we're gonna hear that. Yeah, boy. All right. So cool. So the first thing we're going to learn is how to turn that off, how to change that. So up in this toolbar here, we've got these cogs, these gears. This opens the database. You'll be doing a lot of stuff in here. This is where you set up, you know, the characters that you have in the game. You can change, you know, how many there are. You know, this is playable characters. This isn't for NPCs. They call them actors, and you can you know, set up you know, your own characters and things, you know, change their max level, all that kind of stuff, give them names, all that good stuff. And then there's classes that you can create. So again, you can make as many classes as you want. You can add an extra one, and we can call that class you know, Dude Meister. And you know, their main ability is chilling out. Then there's skills. It says where you can set your skills up. Again, there's a bunch of default ones that you can look at and get an idea of how to create skills, so that you're not just completely guessing how to do things. Some of the default stuff, though, you will want to change and come up with something better, but it's a good starting point to just kind of get a feel for what is possible. And yeah, we'll definitely go into this stuff more in depth as we create more things. Items, again, you can create as many item types as you want. They can do whatever, basically whatever's possible within the engine. Weapons, armor, enemies. And there's actually a pretty extensive, well, not super extensive, but there's a pretty decent amount of, you know, default assets that you can work with. Yeah, we've got, and then troops is about setting up your fights, your encounters, you know, so, you know, this random encounter would be with 2 bats, this would be with 2 slimes, this would be with an orc, this would be with a minotaur, and then you can create another one that's like a minotaur and a slime, and then you can place them down, and you can be like, this troop is called Trouble. Status effects. They can be invisible, like, you know, making a boss character immortal until certain conditions are met. And then they can be damaged. You know, and then your typical poison, blind, silence, all that kind of stuff. Oh, blind would probably be a good status effect. Let's add that. Would decrease the accuracy of enemies. So blind. What's a rogue if he's not going to blind you? What is, yeah. Animations. So again, there's a bunch of default. Also, watch your ears, people. Oh, Okay, that wasn't as cool. Let's do something cool. Sonic Wave. So these are the effects. Hello, who followed? Who was that? Gunther goes goblin mode. Hello, welcome. Thank you for the follow. I'm pretty sure you followed, right? Is that what happened? Sorry, I only just set up my alerts, and yeah, bit of a noob streamer. Forgive me. Yeah. So, and there's a ton of animations, and you don't even have to use any of these. You can build your own. It is interesting figuring out how to create these animations, and it is a bit of work. So again, to make things simple, we're probably just going to stick with, like, maybe I'll make one custom animation, or maybe for all the ultimate skills for the classes. You know, the level 10 skill, we'll create a custom one for each of those, just so we can see what that's like. But yeah, there's a whole library of stuff. Pretty cool. Yeah, and then you've got your tile sets. We don't need to do a whole lot with this, but you know, if you find free tile sets or want to make your own, which can be a complicated process, but it's all possible. And then you can load your tile sets, so you can even, you know, increase and add your own. And yeah, you know, inside, outside, kind of get the gist. Common events. We probably won't touch on this too much now. Also because I can't think of how to explain it right now. But it's a way to make events that are going to happen often in your game. Rather than creating the event multiple times, you can create it once here and then reference it within an event, and then it will play through. So events are like program that you make. Hey Bob, how you doing? Welcome. Glad you could come along. Did you end up getting a decent night's sleep? School wasn't too bad for you today. And then system. So this is this is where we want to be. System. This is where we can kind of send you the wizard toad asset. Yeah. Just send it to me over Discord, and we'll work on getting it in the game. Oh, let's Bob Studio Gamer Wizard Toad. What do you want the wizard toad to say? What's his catchphrase gonna be? I'll let you think on that. So also, sorry, Gunther. Let me know, Gunther, about your what you want your NPC to be in the game. Or at least what you want them to say. I don't know yet. Okay. That's all right. Have a think. We're in no rush. We're literally on the first day, and we haven't even made anything yet. We are just getting ourselves familiar. So there's a lot going on here. You know, you can set your starting party. So maybe we want to delete all of them so that there's only Harold, because you saw when we were playing the playtest before, you had your full party with you, but as we saw in the setup for this game, you're gonna start just by yourself, and then you're gonna pick your 3 party members. I want to be a horse NPC. Beautiful. I love that. Coco, game, music, horse. What are you gonna say? I have a pixelated version and not pixelated version. Which way? Just send me both. That's fine. I'll have a look at them and have a play around. Yeah, what's a Coco catchphrase? So yeah, we've got the actors. You can change your game title here. So I did say simple RPG. Maybe we'll come up with a cooler name that you guys come up with. You can change the vehicle images. So maybe instead of a silly rowboat, you can have a full-on ship, or you can have a horse instead of a boat. Or this little thing. The possibilities are endless. We're not going to have a boat, and we're not going to have a ship. Maybe we'll put one in. But yeah, we're going to have an airship. Maybe we'll make it a hot air balloon. I think we'll make it a dirigible. Yeah, the window color you can change. So maybe we'll vote on what color we think it should be. Let's make it purple for now. This blinding fuchsia. You've got some options here. So use side view battle. Should we use side view? I think maybe we'll use side view. I always like using side view. So yeah, so choosing this so you can either have it so that it's like a traditional Final Fantasy game where you can see your characters on the screen, or if you don't have that ticked, it would be like kind of like a first person view where you don't see your character, but you just see the monsters. And then effects happen to them, but no effects really happen to you. So we'll do side view because again we're kind of making this like a Final Fantasy type RPG. Start transparent. So this is, if you want like an introduction cutscene in your game, and so you don't want the player to be able to see their character, but the character has to be on the screen, right? But the way around that is you make them transparent, and then that way you can have your text scroll or whatever go by. But we don't need to tick that yet. We're not there yet. Show player followers. So that's just like as you're walking around, do you want it so that, the three other party members that you have, will you be able to see them following you, or do you not want them to be seen? Knockout by slipstone. Yeah, we can ignore that for now. Display TP in battle. So there's, so RPGMaker comes set up with, you have your HP bar, your MP bar, and then you can have TP. My leg is broken. Please don't tell my owner, or else he will turn me into glue. Okay. No, I can't highlight that. Let's. Where are we? Copy that. He's got a shotgun. Or maybe, if we're feeling like it, you can heal the leg of the horse, and they'll give you some money or something. See, the possibilities are endless. See, we can make a whole side quest about the horse with a broken leg. So, where were we? Skill types. A side quest, yeah. So yeah, I'm not putting in any side quests yet, because again, we're trying to keep the scope small, but I reckon as we go along, we'll want to add side quests. I think it's important, to show how to do that. But yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. So this is just for side view. What is this? Oh, so this, I think this tells the game, it tells the engine that if if you're using like this type of skill, which just happens to be called magic, then your character will do like a special pose when you've chosen to use magic. Like before their turn goes, they'll be like, oh, you know, like they're summoning the magic. So yeah, that's that. If you fix my leg, you get gold or something super simple. Right, exactly. I just sent both in DMs. Cool, awesome. Thank you, Bob. We will, yeah, we'll have an episode where we get into making custom assets and putting them into the game, and we'll I think we'll use the wizard toad as an example for that. So that would be good. Thank you for that. Gosh, there's so much here. Starting positions, so you can choose where on the map, you know, do you want it so that the airship already appears on the map? We've made it so that it will appear in that position. And if we go into the, oh, actually, before we do that, we'll get there. We'll see that. Title screen, you can change the title screen. You again, it comes with a bunch of assets. Draw game title, this just means, you know, will it show the title that you've got, a simple RPG, generated in text, or have you created your own title screen where it already has the title already, so you don't need the game to draw it itself. So typically, if you want your game to look a bit more professional, a bit more like it's had some love put into it, you wouldn't want to draw the game title. You would want to create your own custom one. Also, when you have a chance, can you put your suggestions in the Discord? Yes, I will. Thank you for reminding me. Menu commands. So when we were looking before at the pause screen, you can decide, you might decide that you don't actually want the player to change the formation, you know, the order in which your party is. You might, you know, only want it locked a certain way, so you would remove that from the menu. But yeah, you can tick and untick those as you wish. You know, you might want it that they can't save from the menu. They can only save when they go to a save crystal or a save point. SV attack motion. So the SV stands for side view. So again, this is what your battler will look like in the side view battles, and there are animations you can set, you know, when you're using a certain type of weapon, that it will use a certain image that comes preset. So even though you have a dagger weapon, you can make it look like a sword, and instead of swinging, you can make it, you thrust with it. Yeah, I think dagger should always be thrust. Anyway, then we go into music and sounds. So this just controls some of the music for some of the main things within the game. The title we have heard, the horrible theme music. But yeah, there's a bunch of tracks here. Oh, it's gonna be so loud. Let's turn that down. You know, there's some alright tracks. They're not the best. So we're gonna make our own music. And for now, we're gonna make it so that there's none. Also, little fun tidbit for you. If you don't press stop, and you exit out of it, the music is gonna keep playing. Like it's just gonna keep playing. So yeah, you can either go here to the sound tester and just press stop, or you can go back in here and go in here and stop. But yeah. So if that ever happens to you, that's how you get out of it. Oh, you can also, with sound, you can change the volume, you can change the pitch, which also changes this. They change the pitch by changing the speed of at which the track is played. So, yeah, really fast track, which sounds pretty good for like a boss battle or something. Oh, it's a horror section, you know? There's a lot you can do. And then panning just makes it either play in the left or the right ear. You typically don't mess with that too much, unless you're doing something cool and experimental, I guess. So we're going to remove that title music. So now when we play test the game, we're not going to hear that annoying stuff. But yeah, we're going to make a custom track and we're going to have a title theme song. Yeah, and you can change the battle music, the victory fanfare that plays, you know, what happens when you get defeated, what the music that plays when it's the game over screen, and when you get into particular vehicles. The team was talking yesterday, was thinking, what if we had a weekly community meetings to make sure game bugs get fixed as fast as possible? Oh, like a weekly play test, or like a you just yeah, meet up for the week and go over what's happening with the game. Probably a good idea. And then yeah, sounds here, you can choose the sound effects that play. Oh. Yeah, so let's make that quieter. We can change the pitch so it's quicker. There we go. So you'll notice when we're playtesting the game, when we move the cursor, that it will change the sound. Then we go into types. Again, there's a lot going on here, but this is where we can set up our different elements. We're only going to have 4, as I said: physical, fire, water, and earth. Your skill types, we're going to have skill types for each of the classes. So there'll be 4 skill types there. Weapon types, we probably won't, I think we'll only have 4 weapon types for each class. You know, you can have armor types, you know, magic armor for mages, general armor, you know, we'll change that. And weapon types, equipment types, you can have weapons, shields, head, body, and accessory. So we're only going to have head, body, and weapon. No accessories. Maybe we'll add accessories. We'll see, because we can make accessories do cool things. Then we have terms, and this is where you can just change how everything is displayed. So maybe instead of attack and defense, you want strength and constitution, and you want wisdom and intelligence and wisdom, dexterity, still luck would be luck. You know, you can just change the terminology to what you want for your game world. I think we'll, yeah, pretty much leave that as is. And yeah, you can also change over here the different messages that pop up. You know, so when enemies appear on screen, instead of saying emerged, you know, you could say, you know, have risen. So when you battle a bat, it'll say a bat have risen. That's a bit janky, but it's kind of funny. Has risen. We sit and talk with the players on Discord. Okay. That could be good. Maybe not. I don't know about weekly. Maybe every other week. And do you think you want to be a part of that? I mean, I might not always be able to join the conversation, but you know, I'll pop in when I can. You know, you can change, you know, what it says when you get XP. You know, 20 XP gained instead of received. You know, so yeah, so there's lots you can do. So this is the database. We'll be doing a lot in here. But why did I show that? Oh, right. So we could get rid of the theme music. Yeah, cool. So we did that. Cool. So let's just do another playtest. A quick little playtest. See, look at all these changes we've made. Now we've got a beautiful purple fuchsia menu. We've got a new title screen background. It still just says a simple RPG. And you hear that? The cursor sound is different. See, so, you know, in a few clicks. And look, oh, God. Okay, so that's the airship music. We probably want to change that. Yeah, so we've got our map. And we've got our gold. Cool. So I guess firstly we want to, we'll get rid of that. We want to, and we'll get rid of that. We want to create our world map. So, so to edit the parameters of the map, we go into our map here. We double click. No. You can either right click and go edit, or the shortcut is to just press the space bar and it will open the properties of the map. So the name of the map we're just going to call world map. You can have a display name. So what's the name of this land? Anyone in chat want to make a suggestion as a name for this the world that we live in? I'll let you jump in when you want. Alukia. Oh, come on, man. we don't want the basic Toadland. Okay, all right. We're either making me look good or serving our own interests. I'm gonna be a bit critical. I'm gonna wait until there's a suggestion that I like. So we'll leave that blank for now. But just what that will do is when we are on the world map, whenever we enter the world map screen, in the top left-hand corner, the name of the land will display. So you can leave this blank if you don't want that information coming up. Hotham. Why is that? Gotham. Hotham. Maybe. Look, we'll put like Gotham, yeah. We'll put Hotham for now. I think as we go on, I'll still keep that open. We can, for suggestion. Let me cook the hot ham. Cool. So yeah, that'll be the display name. I'll show you how that works in a second. Just in case my explanation wasn't good enough. So tile set. So we looked at the tile sets before. This is where you can choose what type of tile set will be used. We obviously want overworld because we're creating the world map. And this is where we can change the size of the map itself. So right now it's 17 by 13. The maximum amount it can do, I think, is 255. Which is pretty big. I don't think you ever want to make a map that big because it would just be a lot of work. Yeah, so one screen is 17 by 13. So any multiples, we could do a multiple of that. What if we just do, yeah, we'll just double that for now. So if we do maths, my brain, 17, 20, 34, 34 and 26. So if we hit OK, we'll see that that's, yeah, we've got a much bigger world map now. And then scroll type. So what this means is, by the way, the time zones are in is not Australian time. The time zone that I'm in or the time zone that you're in? I know you're not on Australian time. Scroll, yeah, so scroll type, so you can make it that if you hit the edges of your map, you will loop on yourself. So if we say loop vertically, then if you go north or south, it will loop on itself vertically, horizontally, you know, left and right, and loop both means the whole thing. So for a world map, I mean, if we had a boat and you could travel around the ocean, I would maybe have it loop both. Oh, you're asking, am I on Australian time? Yes, I am. Brisbane time, which I think is like +10, -10, something like that. Yeah, or if you want, what are some examples? But yeah, you know, if you wanted like an endless corridor, then you could loop it. That kind of thing. So let's just do no loop for now. Encounter steps. So this is for random encounters. Again, well, we might change it. Well, we're not going to use plugins, so yeah, we're gonna make it so that, you know, there's JRPGs these days where you see the character on the enemy on screen and then you run into the enemy and that enters the battle. But then there's the more old school, you know, Pokemon type, you know, original JRPG type system where after so many steps you will have a random encounter, and usually that's a random amount too. And sometimes it can feel like every 5 steps you're entering a battle. But this is where you can set how many steps it will be until a random encounter happens, which makes it not so random. But, and then here is where you would choose, you know, so you can fight 2 bats on the entire map. And so every 30 steps, you'll be in a fight with 2 bats. This is to play background music as soon as you enter the map. So you can choose to have, so let's just turn that down. Beautiful. So we'll make it so that that'll play. Maybe you don't want music, but you want some kind of ambient noise. Like maybe you're in the sewers, so it's water dripping. It's nighttime, and you're around a campfire, and you can hear the noises in the night. Maybe you're by a river. So yeah, you can set that. Specify battle back. So this is when you enter a battle. You can make it so that if you're standing on, or because, you know, you're on the world map, the battle back will be grass with sky. No, not that sky. That one. You know, so when you enter a battle, this will be in the background. If you don't have this selected, when you enter a battle, it will just show like a faded out version of whatever screen you're currently on. Parallax background. Man, there's so much stuff. There is so much stuff. So this is if you have, well, let's just show. So right now we've got these blank tiles that we haven't filled in yet on the map. And so you can make it that that there's a background that moves. Well, it doesn't have to move, but you can make it so that it moves on its own, or that it just moves with you as you move around. And so now there'll be this. So now we can have a look at these little changes that we've made. How do you live there? How do I live in Australia? Quite comfortably, I'd say. Yeah, so you can see, so you can hear we've got the background music going. We've got the parallax background, so that's moving with the sky there. Oh, and we set up random encounters. I'm gonna die. Watch this. I'm gonna die. I thought you had to have a gun on you at all times because of all the dangerous animals that are here. Nah, it's not that bad. We don't really have guns either. Not our thing. Also, this is what a battle looks like. Sorry that the music's so loud. I did not change that. We should change that. Let's change that right now. So we've got our battle music. We'll turn that right down. Yep, except I hate that battle music. That battle music's not much better, but what if we do? Okay, that's fun. All right. So yeah, there's so many things we can do. So now we want to make our world map. Let's get into it. We've edited stuff. We'll change. I have to go. I did sleep yesterday, by the way. Good, good. I'm glad. Well, thank you so much for coming, Bob. Keep thinking about what you want your wizard toad to say as an NPC. And yeah. So yeah, we're gonna paint. We need to paint our Jason's Discord. Yeah, no probs. I might not get to it tonight, but yes. What are we doing? So we're gonna have water. Oh, so this little bar here is for when you're in map editing mode. The pencil allows you to do, you know, single tiles, or, you know, if you do that, then it will do that. You can do that. Wow, whoa, look at our cool map. The rectangle allows you to paint rectangles. So now we've got our ocean. Circle obviously does circles. So is that what we want? Do we want a basic circle map? And then the paintbrush here allows you to fill in desert. Fill in the tiles. Cool. Yeah, so just a circle. In quarters. So what did we say? We've got a forest biome. Got a forest. We'll color that in. We've got a forest biome. We've got, what's the water? The water's the beach. Or like a desert. Oh, that doesn't make any sense. What's the water? Is the water temple going to be on the beach? Water temple. Maybe we will have a boat. Except you have access to the boat straight away. So you can get to the water temple. Water temple, and then we've also got the fire, volcano biome. So we'll color that in. With volcano. Mountains. Make no. Let me change the forest up a little bit. Nah. What's that? Palm trees. Nice. We got a volcano area with some lava. Liking the look of this so far. I'm glad. I'm glad. Again, we're doing very basic things here. You can obviously get way more creative with your world maps. Actually, let me. All right, I didn't know if you were still here, Coco. Let's looks like a yummy pie. That it does. That it does. Maybe we should have a pie themed name for this place. Let me show you Cow Night. Let me show you Cow Night. So this is, where's the world map? This is what you can do. This is the land of Bovenay. The Crust. Oh, the Crust. That's kind of a cool name. I like that. I like that. This is the world map of Bovenay. So I have Cow Night set up that the world map, you don't just roam free. You kind of unlock levels and go through. Holy cow. Thank you. Thank you. That's very good. That is very on theme for the humor of that this game is going to have. So you can see here I've created multiple maps. We've got different houses. We've got, again, these maps are very, very basic right now. These are just placeholder maps. They're obviously going to be much more detailed, but yeah, I've got the whole game mapped out. Well, you've got a full-fledged game here. I'm really excited to play it. Yeah. So, but there is still so much work to be done with this game. Yeah. There, like, anyway, I'll show you. So let's. This is a little taste of what is possible. Wow, I don't even have the Alec Games thing. So see, I've got a custom background where really I just used one of the backgrounds that already comes with the game and I just plastered the logo that I made over the top, and so I don't want it to generate that text, because I'll show you what happens. Show you what happens. If we go draw game title, see, now it prints that over the top. So that's why that option's there. Cool. So let's have a little look. Let's have a little look at my game. This is what's possible. I'm sorry. I know we were just getting started on the map drawing, but I just want to show this off. So we've got, so the thing that I set for myself, I may make the assets more custom in the future, but what I decided to do was I am working within the RTP and just making slight modifications to suit my needs. So if you'll notice here, the default Harold, I added some little spikes to the helmet because he's a cow knight, right? So they're little cow horns. But yeah, so we've got I want some milk. Should be on the table over there. Interact with something by pressing Z. Who said that? Dang it, I'm all out of milk. I'll take this with me to get filled up at the milk bar. Received empty milk bottle. Yeah, it's all placeholder stuff at the moment. Go to the milk bar. Can I get a top up, please? Sorry, Bo, we're all out of milk. How are we out of milk? The milk delivery is late. Maybe you could head over to Yoketown and see what's up. Okay, I will. Before you go, maybe you should see Cud about some gear. That looks so cute. Again, she's just RTP, man. It's amazing. It's amazing. The monster attacks have become more frequent lately. Good idea. Go see Cud about some gear. Monster attacks. Then head over to Yoketown and see why the milk hasn't been delivered. And there's Cud. The door is locked. Bro, honestly, MZRPT sucks. This looks better. Yeah, I haven't really seen what the MZRTP looks like. MV's pretty good. MV's pretty good. I'm heading to Yoketown, but I need some gear. Can I have some, please? First, you must pass through my 7 trials. 7 trials? Really? Nah, here you go. Received adventuring gear. Press X to bring up your menu and equip your gear. Who keeps talking? Oh, also, take this. Received tuning crystal. Don't these belong to Knights of the Bovine Order? Why do you have this? One of my ancestors were part of the order or something. Been passed down to my family for generations. What does it do? Normally they can let you travel all over Bovenay, but since it hasn't been used in so long, you'll have to activate the teleport crystals first before using them. It has already been attuned to the teleport crystal in my home. When you reach Yoketown, you can use it there to enter the crystal realm and get back quick. Crystal realm? Don't worry, it'll make sense once you use it. Okay, thanks, I think. Cool, so we've got our stuff. Our gear's equipped. Got Cud's sword. Tor, come out. Hey, Bo. Why have you been narrating me all day? There's some meta humor. Fourth wall breaking. Anyway, I don't want to get into it. Everyone does it. Because I want to tell your epic story. So Tor, short for narrator, his class is a storyteller. So in the land of Bovenay, there's characters that tell stories. Anyway, okay, I guess. Do you have to be so weird about it? Tor, join the party. That's what I mean. You really want to travel with me? Wow, what did I do there? Your story is going to be the greatest story Ever told. Why would I miss it? Plus, we might run into my father. Your father, isn't he a storyteller like you? Yep, I want to know why he left me after my mother passed away. Ooh, that's pretty heavy stuff. Enough talk, Yorktown awaits. The path to Skimyork Path, the path to Skimyork Path is now open. So you can see we've got very cow-themed names. Skim, like skim milk, yoke, like a yoke that goes on cattle. And yeah, so this is the... So instead of walking around on the world map, you just move between unlocked areas. Very well placed intro. That, well, it's... Again, it's all still placeholder at the moment. I'm not going to get into a battle because I still haven't tweaked the combat and I will die. Ah, never mind. Oh gosh, no. We should just run away. Okay. We've got save crystals where you can heal. You can save your game. So yeah, these maps are placeholder. Like, they're obviously going to be bigger, more intricate. Oh, there's a teleport crystal. Well, we've got to speak to the mayor first. So, like, I've invented, yeah, the main story without all the proper dialogue yet. Just enough dialogue to get you through. What happened to the milk delivery? A delivery from the Royal Dairy has not come through, which is very strange. Is that a tuning crystal? I didn't realize you were a knight of the Bovine Order. Oh, I'm not. That's excellent. You can quickly teleport back to Skim Village to tell them what's happening. I feel better knowing that this task is in such capable hands. Cool. You hold up the tuning crystal to the dormant teleport crystal. You've now activated this teleport crystal. Your party was fully healed. What would you like to do? Teleport into the crystal realm. Here we go. Whoa, what is this place? This is the Crystal Realm, a place much like our own, kind of. You can travel quickly between places you have visited before. Make sure you activate any teleport crystals you find. So, yeah, with the teleport crystal, you can see the whole world map. Ooh, what's that place? But yeah, I just thought it was an interesting way to move between areas. There's card. Problem goes back to the Royal Dairy. This is serious. Head back to Yorktown for further instruction. Use the teleport crystal or head out the door. I've unlocked it for you. But yeah, I think we kind of get the point. So, you know, there's a lot you can do with, you know, this is what's possible with RPGMaker. And this isn't even a finished game. But if you want Coco, well, I don't know. I was like, I could send you what I have of the game so far, but again, you can't really do much except just sort of walk through the game and unlock every area and see the story progress, but you don't actually really fight any battles or anything. But I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, let's go back to... If you need me to test anything, DM me. All right, I shall. I appreciate that. What are we doing? What's our game called? Simple RPG. All right, so we're back to our map. We've got our pie. We're renaming it the Crust. And I'll show you what I meant before. So see, the crust that appeared, I pointed to the screen, You can't see me pointing to the screen, but you saw there it said the Crust on that screen. Cool. Let's start our player. So if you want to move this event, you can either click and drag it, or you can just right click on a square and go set starting position and go player. So we've got our 3 biomes. We also want, so we want, what's a water temple? Let's do a water temple. So we've got our water temple there. We've also got, our forest tower. And then what's going to be our volcano? Maybe this one. Volcano temple. Cool. Cool. So what I'm doing here is, so you can either painstakingly do one tile at a time, or you can left click and drag over the tiles that you want, and then it allows you to drop the whole thing down. And then, you know, if you do that, then you can do that. You can do that. Yada yada. So, you know, if we want to drop that down, we can do that. So we want our hub town. What's it gonna look like? Yeah, a little fortress town. I think that looks all right. So that'll be our little village area there. Let's spruce things up a little bit. Add some grassy patches to our pie. Okay. And we'll add the boat. So you can board the boat here and use it to get over to the water temple. And so what we'll do is we'll make it so that looping that I talked about before, if we go loop both, and what we'll see is so we've got our tower there. Oh, I forgot we have random battles. Uh-oh. We've got our towers there. Oh. Let me turn off random encounters for now. Okay. All right. So we're on our boat. Get to the water temple. Oh. So the boat can only travel in shallow water. Whereas if we get rid of that and do the ship. Actually, I think the ship might get stuck, because the ship can probably only ever be in deep water. But we'll have a look. We'll see. See what happens. Oh no, it can go on all water. And so this is what I mean by looping. So you can see we've now looped to the other side of the map. You can see both sides of the map. If we do top and bottom, yeah, you can see the whole world that way. And that's how we get to there. Cool. All right. So we have that. What else do we need? We need our floating fortress. So we want that to be up here. I don't like that it's not in the center, but that's a B problem. Or do we want it over here? Maybe off center. Ooh, and then we got, yeah. Wait, what if we do that? And then that. That's kind of cool. Maybe. Or do we want just simple castle? Temple? I guess it's going to be a temple, right? That's where our final boss is going to be. And yeah, the only way we can reach it is by the airship, but the airship will only be accessible once we've defeated all the other temples. So there we have it. We have our map, our world map. Now, we don't actually want to start on the world map screen. We want to, well, look, let's get into it. Let's create a text scroll. So we're going to add a new map. So we can just go new. Right click and select new. This will be intro. Again, we don't want a display name. The tile set doesn't matter. We're not going to change the map size because we're not going to be moving around. But we are going to have a parallax background. What do we want? Let's do a sunset. And let's have the background play. Oh, we'll have wind blowing in the background. Okay. And we're going to go okay. Oh, actually, we want it to move horizontally 1. I'm going to hit save. I'm going to move the intro. Okay. So we've got our intro there. We're going to move our spawn position. So we're going to make the player start here. And we're going to go into settings, into the database. We're going to go into the system and we're going to go start transparent. So what that's going to do is we'll have a look and see. So when we start our new game, we're invisible. We're still technically on the map. I can't move around, but so this is going to be our intro cutscene. So it's kind of cool. We've just got no music, just the sound of the wind blowing, and I get this moving background to make it feel like we're up in the sky. Okay, so now I want to make it so that text scrolls past the screen and gives an introduction to the game. So we're in event editing mode. I'm gonna double click just in the top left hand corner here. It doesn't matter where you put the event, but to keep things organized, I like to put my events in the top left hand corner. We're calling this event introduction. And okay, so the event page. There's a lot that's going on here. You can create new event pages by clicking new event page. You can delete them by pressing delete. You can clear your event by pressing that. So you can just delete everything that's there and anything else you've done. And yeah, conditions, these can be set, and we'll get more into that later, so that your event will only happen if these conditions are met. You can create an image for the event. This is how I'm going to create the NPCs that are going to populate the game. So we had, who was it? Kiwi, not the wiki, was, what was he doing? He wanted to be a rock. So let's find a rock. How's about, well, tile set? He could be, no, let's do, he's going to be a boulder. So we could, going to sleep now, good luck. Thanks for coming, Coco, really appreciate it, man. Catch you next time. Have a good evening. You know, we can make him a rock. And so when you see that event in the game, it'll be this rock, and then the rock can talk. I am a guide in thy world. Hope to travel across soon. Oh yeah. I am a guide in thy world, or whatever he said. And yeah. Anyway, there's lots you can do. Right now, we don't want an image, because this is just an event that's going to play in the background. Autonomous movement, that doesn't concern us yet, and neither do these options. But this here, priority and trigger. Priority, we want it to be below characters, so that the player can't interact with it at all. And then, which they won't be able to anyway on this screen, so that doesn't matter. And then trigger. So this is asking, how do you want this event to trigger? So obviously with an NPC, we don't want them to just start randomly talking to us, you know, unless we do want to set them that way. But we don't want them to say anything to us until we press the action button. So that's what the action button trigger would do. Player touch is, rather than me pressing the action button, if I just walk into this event. So maybe I walk into this NPC and it, you know, it plays an animation where he gets knocked over and says, ow, why'd you bump into me like that? So we can do that. You know, so that when the player moves into an object, then the event will activate. Event touch means the event so anything below or above the previous option, I believe, still activates the event. But yeah, so the player can touch the event, or if the event runs into me, then that will activate it. So that's more like if you set up that there's enemies that you can see on screen, and when they walk into you, it activates a battle. Auto run. This is what you use for when you have cutscenes play. And what it does is it stops all movement from the player. It stops the player from doing anything. And yeah, sorry. It stops the player from doing anything, so they can't move or interact with anything, and it will just, whatever is in this event will play out. And until that event is ended, nothing nothing can happen. So you have to make sure that when you are creating your cutscene events that it will always finish and have a way to get out of it. Otherwise, your game will get soft locked essentially. So yeah, only use that for cutscenes. And then what parallel means, do not use this for cutscenes. Is that it runs parallel to the game. It means it runs in the background while you're still able to be in control of your character and play the game. And so this is, yeah, for like this isn't for NPCs. This is for, like, say you want a timer that runs in the background, and so after 30 seconds, an animation will play every 30 seconds, and so you would use this parallel event to do that, parallel trigger. So this is going to be a cutscene, so we want auto run. We then can double click here on the contents, which will show everything that will happen in our event. And there's a lot here, but all we want right now is show scrolling text. And we're going to go the title of our game, simple RPG. You are a noble hero tasked with gathering a party that can free the Crust from evil. Choose your companions wisely and fight your way to victory. Defeat the 3 elemental temples and you will gain access to the final sky temple. Fight the final boss to beat the game. Scroll speed 2 is probably good. No fast forward means you can't press a button to make it scroll faster. We obviously want to give the player autonomy there. And here you can click preview so you can see what it's going to look like. Okay, obviously we're going to change this text in the future. This is just placeholder for now. Once we've figured out a bit more of a story, not that there's going to be much. So right now, I'll show you. This is what's going to happen with what we've just created. There's our scroll, simple RPG, you're a noble hero. See, I press that and it makes it go faster. But now, because I haven't done anything to tell the cutscene to end, it's just going to constantly loop what is here. So what we want to do is, because an auto run event will just keep going until something tells it to stop. And so what we want to do though is make it so that once this text scroll is finished, that we teleport the player to the world map. To the world map, and then they get to start the game. So there's a few ways we can do this. I guess we'll just go for the simplest thing now, which is to just transfer the player. So this is on the second page, movement, transfer player. Direct designation is where we can tell it specifically where on a map to teleport. Or you can designate with variables, which I've never really used, but that's where you can input XY coordinates and do it that way. But yeah, so we just want to appear over here on the world map. That's where we're going to go. Direction. So it's asking which way do you want to be facing when that happens. We are going to say facing down. And the type of fade. So if we say none, it's just going to suddenly jump to the world map. We obviously want it to feel a bit more cinematic. So you can either have it fade to white or fade to black. I think fade to white is always kind of good for like the start of a game. Fade to black, I would think more, oh, I'm dying or I'm transitioning, but this is like the very first, it's like, anyway, we're going to go white. Now, I've realized, so this is what's going to happen. Let's look at what we've done so far and see what problems arise from what we've just done. So we've got a text scroll. Oh no, I'm still invisible. And there's also still the background wind noise playing. A few different things there. So, how do we fix these issues? So we're going to go back into our event. What's the first problem? So we're still invisible. We need to change that. Also, I didn't have to worry about doing anything to make this event end because once the player gets moved to this other map, this event here that's auto running is no longer, it's on a different map. So it's not going to auto run anymore. So now, so I don't have to, although I think I've done this in the past with my games, just out of habit, I've created a way for the event to turn itself off even when it doesn't need to. But we don't need to worry about doing anything to turn off the event because we've moved the player away from it. So before we transfer the player, or so this plays right after we transfer the player. Let's just go new. We want to change transparency and we want to turn that off. So that's going to make it so that the player is no longer invisible. And because these are happening one right after the other, while it's doing the fade to white, that transparency will turn off. And by the time it transitions us into the map, we'll already be visible. Cool. So we'll do that. And then that other problem that we had, we go back into the world map. And so we've got that background noise of the wind playing. The way we can get rid of that is we can make it so that we autoplay a background sound whenever we're on this map, and we set it to none, and that will turn off that noise once we hit this map. So let's see what that's done. And there we go. We're here on the map. We've got our temples. And we've got a little introduction. Very cool. So, I think we're going to call it there. It's 10 o'clock. I need to get ready for bed. Yeah, this was this was an interesting first stream. I think we jumped all over the place a little bit. We found a little bit of structure at the end. Yeah, I don't know how constructive this is going to be on YouTube. To have this as a tutorial, but yeah, I'm excited to do more and to build this game with you guys, the viewers. So yeah, if you're watching on YouTube and you would like to have an NPC in the game, all you have to do is jump on when I'm streaming. I'll be doing this every Tuesday, 7:30, 8 o'clock, just depends. I did say 7:30, but I was working a bit of a later shift at work, so yeah, I wasn't able to get started until about 8 o'clock. But yeah, 7:30, 8 o'clock, Brisbane time, Brisbane, Australia time. Yeah, and all you got to do is jump on the stream and follow, and yeah, hit me up in chat and let me know what how you want your NPC to be in the game. And yeah, that's how we're going to do that. So thanks again for everyone that joined the stream tonight. I appreciate your presence. Any lurkers, thank you for coming. And for those that followed, appreciate it as well. Yeah, I'll be streaming again on Thursday. We'll be playing Dragon's Dogma 2. So if you're interested in watching me stumble through that game, come along. But otherwise, have a good night, have a great week, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.